Welcome to Hero Villains. In your opinion, who would win when TOBA Hulk versus King Omega Superman, when the primordial darkness challenges the eternal light? TOBA Hulk is the embodiment of the one below all, a supreme entity that represents absolute destruction. When Bruce Banner is completely possessed, he becomes a living nightmare, with nearly limitless power, unstoppable regeneration, and the ability to manipulate reality at a fundamental level. His rage is no longer an emotion, but a law of destruction. King Omega Superman is a version of Superman who has evolved far beyond all normal limits. He possesses pure cosmic energy, the ability to control space, time, and matter, along with an intellect that reaches a level of multidimensional awareness. No longer just a simple hero, he becomes a symbol of order and balance. Before we go deeper into the analysis, please press the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Hulk has long become a symbol of unshakable strength, a living legend with countless versions spanning many eras. However, among all those incarnations, there is one name that always makes people shudder when mentioned, and that is the one below all Hulk. First appearing in Immortal Hulk 24. This is no longer Hulk as we once knew him, but something far darker and deeper. In truth, this form is only an empty shell. The entity behind it is the one below all, an ancient malevolent force that has completely taken over the body. There is no trace left of Bruce Banner or the familiar Hulk persona, only a cold, soulless presence driven by pure destruction. The one below all is not bound by normal limitations. As an abstract entity, its power is nearly limitless and cannot be measured by any standard. Its only goal is to erase the entire multiverse, turning everything into nothingness, where only darkness, death, and endless emptiness remain, just like its own nature. Every step it takes spreads like a nightmare, consuming hope and light, making even the most powerful entities wary. What makes this entity even more terrifying is its opposing connection to the one above all, the supreme creator of the entire Marvel universe. If the one above all represents life, light, and order, then the one below all is the embodiment of destruction, darkness, and absolute ending. Hidden beyond the awareness of all beings, there exists a supreme entity imprisoned in a place called the Below Place, a dimension as dark as a bottomless abyss. It serves as the final seal to contain its uncontrollable hunger, a hunger that seeks to devour all life in the multiverse, leaving behind only decay, silence, and a chilling emptiness. The entrance to the Below Place is locked behind the green door, a fragile boundary between existence and destruction. Although it cannot directly step into the outside world, this entity still finds ways to seep through other paths. It manifests itself through abstract forms of existence, and especially through gamma radiation, the very energy that accidentally created the Hulk. From that energy, darkness begins to take shape, where death becomes the foundation for rebirth. The one below all is not simply part of that cycle. It cannot create, and it is not entirely bound by any law. It has its own will, a hidden objective, and it carries it out through gamma-powered hosts, those who unknowingly become tools for its destructive ambition. Hulk once connected to the green door, unintentionally opening a path to something uncontrollable. From that chain of events, a horrifying entity gradually took form, as Hulk body no longer belonged to him, but became a vessel for an ancient darkness. Hulk during the era of the one below all actually traces back to a person few would expect: Bruce Banner, father, Brian Banner. From early on, Brian sensed something unusual creeping into his mind, a presence far beyond human understanding. But fate did not stop there. Many years later, Bruce continued that unfinished scientific path and created the Gamma Bomb, accidentally touching the metaphysical boundary known as the Green Door. From that moment, everything began to slip out of control, and the tragedy reached its peak when Bruce was forced to end his own father life with his own hands. But death was not the end. Brian's soul was dragged down into a deep layer of hell where the one below all was waiting. There, this entity took over both his mind and body, turning Brian into a tool for its brutal purposes. It did not stop there. It also manipulated other Gamma-powered individuals such as Sasquatch and Jailbait, expanding its influence like a shadow spreading into every corner. Under the control of darkness, Brian led Bruce back to the Los Alamos military base, where the first Gamma explosion once occurred. Here, the situation quickly descended into chaos when Absorbing Man appeared and absorbed an enormous amount of energy. When the Gamma flight forces arrived, everything became even more unstable. Taking advantage of the chaos, he secretly gathered all the remaining Gamma radiation and turned it into a power source to activate a gateway capable of opening the green door. The atmosphere seemed to freeze, and a sense of dread crept into every breath. The moment Bruce Banner was separated from Hulk was the moment the true tragedy began. With no barrier left to stop him, Brian Banner immediately prepared Hulk body as a perfect vessel to offer to the one below all. But the possession did not happen instantly. This entity took a long period of time, gradually crushing every remaining trace of the old identity. When the process was complete, what remained was no longer Hulk, nor Bruce Banner. It was only an empty, cold body, completely controlled by a will of pure destruction, a being wearing a familiar form. But inside was nothing but an endless abyss. This creature reached a level of power beyond all known limits. It defeated powerful entities such as Franklin Richards, Galactus, and even Mr. Immortal, who was considered impossible to destroy. Not stopping there, it also devoured abstract entities, including eternity, absorbing the very essence of the universe into itself. From that point on, Hulk was transformed into a world breaker, taking on a form of endless hunger similar to Galactus. It wandered among the stars, seeking and consuming planets and entire star systems like an unstoppable storm. Every world that vanished left behind a cold emptiness. That process of destruction lasted for 10 billion years. Little by little, the universe was eroded until nothing remained. When it was all over, there was no light, no life, only a single entity standing in the endless void. After 10 billion years of death, devastation, and slaughter, the universe became barren, empty, cold, and lifeless. TOBA had finally achieved its goal and extinguished the multiverse forever. TOBA Hulk destroyed everything through a message sent by Par%L, the one who died at the hands of TOBA Hulk. Leader attempted to interfere with the future in which TOBA Hulk would win, but the opposite happened. His own interference ensured that future would never come to pass. Leader wanted to allow TOBA to possess Hulk body as early as possible, but was instead possessed by TOBA himself. After being possessed, Leader tried to assimilate Bruce Banner and Devil Hulk into himself to achieve the ultimate TOBA form. Hulk and Joe Fixit went to the Below Place and stopped that plan. TOBA Hulk possesses immense power, mainly because it is the embodiment of TOBA. TOBA itself does not have the ability to create, but it has the power to destroy, annihilate, devour, and distort creations made by others. As an abstract entity and the counterpart of TOA, it is extremely difficult to precisely define the power and abilities of TOBA, as they are likely limitless and far beyond our understanding. I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel. It will help us a lot, and you are amazing. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about King Omega Superman. In a turning point that surpassed all limits, Superman merged with the heart of Apocalypse, fully absorbing both primordial energy sources, Alpha and Omega. From that moment, a new entity was born, known as King Omega Superman, one of the most powerful forms ever to appear throughout the decades-long journey of this Superman. In that state, Superman is no longer bound by space or time. He exists everywhere in the universe, simultaneously present across all timelines, as if he has become one with the very structure of reality itself. His existence is no longer that of a single individual, but more like a living concept, spreading across every dimension. The power he holds goes far beyond anything ever imagined. He can bend, reshape, and even rewrite all of reality on a multiversal scale. Everything, from the smallest particles of matter to vast universes, can be recreated according to his will. His ability to absorb the energy of the Big Bang allows him to access the primordial source that gave birth to the entire universe, while also granting him control over all possibilities across timelines and realities. He does not stop at creation. He also possesses destruction on an absolute level. He can create or erase entire universes with a single thought. In that moment, Superman is no longer just a hero, but becomes the embodiment of both beginning and end. His presence is like a radiant light within the endless void, carrying infinite hope while also holding the power to erase everything in an instant. As King Omega, Superman is not just stronger. Every punch he delivers is not merely destructive force, but carries the energy of a newborn universe coming into existence. When facing Darkseid, each movement shakes space itself, capable of disturbing black holes and even creating new realities from the impact alone. His regeneration reaches a level that is nearly impossible to comprehend. No matter how severe the damage, his body instantly restores itself completely, as if the injury never existed. Even losses that seem beyond recovery are reversed in an instant. What is even more astonishing lies in the nature of his existence. In this state, Superman appears to stand beyond all narrative control and the fundamental laws of reality. He is not just fighting within a story, but exists above it, where the boundary between fiction and reality becomes almost impossible to define. His immortality is absolute. Weaknesses once tied to this legend, such as kryptonite, red sun, radiation, magic, or psychic attacks, no longer have any effect. At the same time, he retains all of his familiar abilities, such as flight, heat vision, freeze breath, and countless others, all elevated to an entirely new level. Looking at him now, one no longer sees a familiar superhero, but a radiant entity within the vast universe, both majestic and terrifying. Every action he takes feels like a symphony of power and creation, causing everything around him to fall silent. In the King Omega form, Superman reached the peak of his power when he single-handedly confronted and wiped out the ancient gods revived by Lex Luthor. This was no longer a familiar battle, but a moment where his power erupted like a cosmic wave, crushing each ancient entity as if they had never existed. The climax came when he defeated the King Omega version of Lex himself, who possessed both the power of the gods and the abilities of the Black Lantern Ring, a combination capable of spreading terror across all of reality. But the true challenge began when he faced Darkseid in his King Omega state. This was no ordinary battle, but a collision between two forces capable of reshaping all existence. His opponent had previously defeated massive cosmic entities such as the World Forger and the Time Trapper, yet this time, Superman stood his ground. The conflict spread across every layer of space, unfolding simultaneously across countless planes of existence, where every strike not only destroyed, but rewrote the structure of reality itself. In the end, when the light faded and the storm of power subsided, Superman did not choose to rule. He rebuilt the entire multiverse, restoring life and order from the ashes. More importantly, he distributed his immense power among many different beings as a way to preserve the fragile balance of the universe and prevent anyone from ever holding absolute power again. That moment carried a quiet yet haunting beauty. A being who could do everything chose to let go. In the vast space that had just been reborn, his figure gradually became smaller, like a reminder that even infinite power must be restrained for life to continue to exist. In this seemingly impossible confrontation between TOBA Hulk and King Omega Superman, TOBA Hulk is not just an ordinary Hulk, but the embodiment of the most primal fear in the universe. In terms of power scale, TOBA Hulk is not simply a superhero. He is the vessel of the one below all, a near omnipotent entity that stands as the direct opposite of the one above all, the supreme being of Marvel. This power goes beyond reality manipulation and extends to devouring the entire multiverse, even erasing fundamental concepts of existence such as eternity. Meanwhile, King Omega Superman, although possessing multiversal level power and the ability to bend reality, is still an entity within the structure of the DC universe and has not reached the level of absolute destruction. When comparing feats, the gap becomes even more apparent. TOBA Hulk has effortlessly defeated Franklin Richards, one of the few beings capable of creating a multiverse, and destroyed Galactus without significant difficulty. In contrast, King Omega Superman, despite absorbing the energy of the Big Bang and defeating Darkseid, still operates within the limits of a structured multiverse. He even required assistance from other entities to ultimately defeat Darkseid, which indicates certain limitations. In terms of abilities, TOBA Hulk possesses existence, erasure, gamma manipulation, and near immortality. Every defeat is only temporary before he regenerates stronger than before. On the other hand, King Omega Superman has advantages in speed and control over time and reality, but these abilities become fragile when facing an entity capable of tearing apart the fabric of reality itself and absorbing all forms of energy. The course of the battle may initially favor Superman due to his speed and mastery over space and time. However, once the rage of TOBA Hulk erupts, he will recover almost instantly and begin to consume Omega energy. In the final stage, the surrounding reality gradually collapses, Superman consciousness is erased, and all space is pulled into nothingness. The outcome is a clear victory for TOBA Hulk. It is not only a victory of power, but also an overwhelming superiority in the nature of existence. This is a clash between a cosmic hero and the embodiment of absolute destruction, where all hope is gradually consumed by endless darkness. TOBA Hulk is stronger and wins this battle. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.